What is your competitive advantage, and do you feel you're lagging behind on a service such as this, especially in India?
So we are designing everything from the beginning, and none of the other competitors are really doing that. Food has always been important for IKEA, but you cannot do business on an empty stomach. Of course, in India, a market where people really loves their food, it's a beautiful combination.
Why should a middle-class Indian consumer go to an IKEA versus a local carpenter?
So when you enter an IKEA store, you see solutions that are tailored to you that are India-specific.
IKEA opened 6 stores in 7 years. What is making you confident that this pace of acceleration is the right way to go? IKEA's current losses are about 1,300 crores annually on an 1860 crore revenue. Boardroom Interrogation has been profitable for nearly 3 decades. I'm Avanne Dubash, and I have a question for you. Where do you usually see company CEOs being interviewed? In glass-walled conference rooms, presidential suites, plush cabins? But have you ever seen a company CEO being interviewed in a setting like this? Welcome to the Boardroom Interrogation, where there's just one rule. We ask 21 direct questions, and the guest gets 90 seconds to answer each one. Because in this boardroom, we don't just talk business, we mean business. IKEA arrived in India with a global playbook, destination stores, and a promise of democratic design. 7 years later, the footfalls are high, the food courts are full, but the balance sheet is deep in the red. Now with a new CEO at the helm, doubling of stores, aim to profitability, and local sourcing are the aim. IKEA is planning to rewrite its India story. But can it? Patrik, Antoni, welcome to the Boardroom Interrogation. The format is simple. We have 21 questions, 90 seconds per answer. I've got my timer here. So you ready? Let's dive in.
Yes, ready to go.
All right. So Patrik, you left India in 2018 and then you navigated a major transformational operation in Russia. You returned in August 2025. In those 7 years, what is it that convinced you that the India story could play out differently?
Well, India has, for IKEA, always been seen as a very big potential. We have a very large population, we have a very young population, we have a population that migrates into the cities. Lots of new needs and demands that we really believe we are the company to help them with. Starting up new lives and so on. So that demand has always been there, and that's why we started the business back in 2018. Now we've built up a lot of capabilities, both when it comes to sourcing as well as to supply, to fulfill our customers' needs. And now we're ready to take a second push, so to speak, and we're going to increase our expansion pace to be able to reach our vision, which is really about creating a better everyday life for the many people. So we need to reach the many people by definition, and we're not really there yet. So we have a lot to do, and that's why it's so exciting to be here now with the right preconditions of a good setup, and now the push to really reach more of the many in India. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay, now let's talk numbers, because IKEA's current losses are about 1,300 crores annually on an 1860 crore revenue. So that's about a 70% loss ratio. In comparison, some of your competitors like a Boardroom Interrogation has been profitable for nearly 3 decades. What lessons can you learn from them to do things differently and be more profitable?
As I mentioned, our vision is about creating a better everyday life for the many people. So our starting point is to reach big volumes in order to reach many people. And that's a bit of a different business model. So we have quite high startup costs to build big stores, build up the right fulfillment and so on. So for us, when we reach a certain level of volumes, the profitability comes. And with that profitability, it gives us even more opportunities actually to lower prices and reach more of the many as it goes. So it's a very, call it the IKEA spiral, we say. So you lower the prices, you reach more of the many, you can produce more products, you can again reduce prices. So is this what we're striving for? At the moment, we are still in the phase where we are having high initial investments. So losing money for a good purpose is, so to speak, not a problem really.
Okay. So what is the timeline that you have in mind in order to hit that profitability mark? Is there any time frame that you have in mind?
Yeah, so I have a goal now. It's to reach profitability by the end of FY28, so it's in about 3 years from today. And it's very feasible because we have plans to expand the brand. We are getting better at what we do operationally. So we will, so to speak, both increase the top line as well as be more operationally efficient. So yeah, by the end of 2028.
2028, okay. Now let's talk about India, because IKEA data shows that 20 to 30% of the visitors are primarily there to eat food, not to shop, not to buy furniture, but to have food. And in India, I understand that number is nearly double the global average at about 10%. How are you looking at the shift in consumer behavior, and when did food begin playing such an important role?
The food has always been important for IKEA, all the way since the start. And of course in India, a market where people really loves their food. It's a beautiful combination. So it all started back in, I think, 1950s when IKEA opened its first store. The founder figured out that after about 1 hour, the man pulled the woman out of the store because he was hungry. And then they never came back. So it was an early finding that we need to have food in our stores in order to keep our customers there longer and for them to shop more. So you cannot do business on an empty stomach. So hence it became an integral part of our concept. I think in all touch points we have around the world, there is a food component. So it's really into the brand. In Asia in general, the share of food is much higher than Europe. So 10, 12, 15% food share is normal. So it depends on your location, it depends on the country, so it's not a problem.
Okay. Now let's talk about the DIY flat pack model, because that has not really taken off in India the way it has overseas. It's been 7 years of trying. How do you really look at this? Is it going to be a challenge, and when do you think you'll crack it?
So in India, we're offering a much wider service offer than we have in other markets. So we know that people will buy products with more services. It's all about transport home is the challenge because people have smaller cars. It's also about assembly because people have less experience in that. So we're fine with a broader service office. Then we though see in the market that more and more people seems to be doing it themselves. We see it on the uploads on Instagram, on various formats that look what I've done. So also here it's coming more and more that I'm proud of what I've done and I want to show the world that I've built my bookcase. And in all honesty, we are simplifying the assembly process a lot. So take a wardrobe, for example, that used to be a lot of assembly process on the way. Now you basically open the flat part, you pull it apart, the back panel is integrated, you click, lock, and it's done in 5 minutes. So it's a big difference to assemble something today than it was maybe 5 years ago.
But at the same time, competitors like a Pepperfry or an Urban Ladder, they are offering the convenience. They have free assembly services. What is your competitive advantage, and do you feel you're lagging behind on a service such as this, especially in India?
So IKEA's main competitive advantage is the range we have. So we have, all our products are designed together. So the color schemes that we have in curtains, in towels, in sofas, they match at any given point of time. So it's very easy to buy at IKEA because you can take a couple of pillows, you take a throw, you can match it together with your curtains and your sofa or your chair. Also the bookshelves come in the same US, and so it's all completed. Everything fits together. A box from IKEA fits perfectly into the bookshelf. So we are designing everything from the beginning, and that's none of the other competitors are really doing that. So this is the core, I think, differentiator. Then the store experience as such is that we have studied all markets in India specifically, in all cities. We've been home visits, we have done a lot of studies. So we create room settings and solutions that are unique to that market. So when you enter an IKEA store, you see solutions that are tailored to you that are India specific. The second differentiator, I think, is the meeting in the store, where we have created room settings that in all stores are unique. So you don't find the same room setting in Hyderabad or Mumbai or Sweden, but they are to the local needs. So we're not selling an individual product at a discount or so on. We're selling a solution to someone's problem, and that's also where we differ from most of the competitors.
Okay, the solution to the problem. Got it. So at the same time, since you're talking about this localization and everything being different, Hyderabad has biryani outselling the Swedish meatballs. And regionally, across stores, everything is visibly different. But how do you stay true to your core while at the same time adapting to local preferences?
So we're all about being relevant on the local market. So we're trying to find out what matches local needs. At the core, we're Swedish IKEA, and the range that we are selling and offering to our customers are basically the same everywhere. It's how we combine it that makes it locally relevant. So let's say in Sweden, your shoe storage, for example, is inside in the hallway. In India, it might be outside your door, actually, in the staircase. If you go to Portugal, they don't take off their shoes inside. So they walk through the apartment and put off the shoes in the bedroom. So all these ways of meeting the customer needs is how we really localize our offer. And I don't see that as being stepping away from our core. It's really using the same core, but being relevant on the local market.
So there is a section of consumers, especially in India, who perceive that IKEA is more expensive if compared to a Godrej, for example, or the local workshop. Is this a challenge in your communication or in your positioning? Is this something that you want to alter?
So our ambition is to offer low prices so that as many people as possible can afford IKEA. So in each category, we believe and think we have the highest value. So if you want to have a relatively low priced product, we offer the best value because it's the price, but it's also including then how a product is done, sourced, what it contains in terms of glues, what color you're putting onto it. So we are working always with very healthy and safe standards that makes our products at a value, or I would say always better value than products from other brands, where the price point is only one of it, so it's included the whole experience of what you get. So in each category, maybe low, mid, high, we don't really have high price products, but in the mid to high, we have what we think the best value. So it's when you take all aspects into consideration, the design, the function, the form, the sustainability of the product, we would be leading. And we call that democratic design because we really try to get all elements into product design.
Okay, but does it not worry you? Is value proposition the thing that you say that is your competitive edge? And why should a middle-class Indian consumer go to an IKEA versus a local Carpenter?
I think it's up to the customer to choose, of course, what they want to go. But I think our advantage is that we have a standardized set of products. You know exactly what you're going to get. What you see in the store or online is what you're going to get at home. It also comes with a return right. So if you don't like your product, you have 1 year to return the product. As well as many of our products come with guarantees. The kitchen has a 25-year guarantee, a wardrobe can have 10 years guarantee. And that gives you that trust that this will last for a long time. So it's up to you to choose what you want, but I think we have a very solid proposition to match the needs on the local market.
Okay, now let's talk expansion. IKEA opened 6 stores in 7 years, and now you're looking at 5 to 6 in 1 year. There are already delays in Noida and in Gurugram. So what is making you confident that this pace of acceleration is the right way to go?
So now we're going to mix our expansion between own builds that is happening in Gurgaon and Noida, as well as leased spaces. So there will be a good mix of large format stores that we own, medium-sized or smaller-sized format that we then lease, and an online capability. So we're going to really match the needs of the customers. So whatever you want at that specific time, you can get from IKEA. If you just want to buy a product quickly, maybe you do it online. If you want to have a service and talk to a coworker about maybe an assembly, a wardrobe or something that you need a bit more detail about, you go to a smaller format. And the day when you feel that, okay, I really want to get inspired, I want to see what can really be done to my home, you go to a bigger store. So there will be different formats. And the speed then of leasing is very different to the speed of building. To build something from the beginning takes you 4 years maybe, so that is like that. Land purchase, maybe some regulations, construction, fit outs, while a leased project can take 6 to 7 months instead, so you can realize that quickly. So this year we're doing, right now, opened Delhi 1 in August. We are planning to open Pune in February, March, and then you will know something more will open in May, something more will open in July, so more things to come. So I think the speed is coming.
Okay, lots of rabbits out of the hat. So break it down for us. How is online faring versus the offline format, which you said requires land purchase and for some of these formats? And what is the breakup in India versus rest of the globe? Is it the same?
So online is very important, as everybody knows today in India, especially. Most people use their phone to buy, so that's a very important part. Today it's about 30% of the total sales coming from online, and it's quite comparable with the rest of the world. Some markets are on 20, some on 40, but we are here on 30. We believe it's going to stay roughly there. The reason that you don't get a super high online share for us is that somehow there is a combination of the physical format and online that is really the sweet spot for us. Then it's when we get a lot of customers coming in online as well. So it's not so easy to just get into a market without a store. Then you really have to fund your marketing a lot to drag those customers in. But when you open a store, there's a lot of excitement around that. People visit the store and then they shop online. So that combination is really nice for us as an omni-channel experience.
Of course, there is the excitement, but at the same time, as you said, large format stores, they require a lot of Capex, and there's aggressive expansion at a time when financials are strained. So how are you looking to balance that when operationally you're in the red?
So we see the big store formats as an investment in the future. It takes some time to get the volumes out of a store that is needed to pay back, and we know that. So we're now mixing it up also with the smaller format stores that are leased, that can give us volume faster. So it's the mix that will give us the good result, and knowing our business model for so many years, we know that when we reach certain volumes, then the profitability comes, and so we're not really worried. We're keeping our vision in focus, and it's to reach more of the many people. So it's to expand, to be closer to the many people, and then things, so to speak, will sort itself out with the volumes we're going to get.
Okay. Now, Inca has invested 10,500 crore rupees. How much of that capital has already been absorbed?
So we have already passed the 10,500 crores as an investment. We are currently building 2 large meeting places, shopping centers outside Delhi, one in Gurgaon and one in Noida. We're also having the 3 full-size stores that we already have in Hyderabad, in Bangalore and in Mumbai. So those are already passed, and we're continuing to invest in India. We believe in this for the future, so more to come.
So are you looking at this investment from Inca, €1 billion in India, as a strategic diversification? Is that going to be the game plan?
So you're referring to the shopping centers being a large part of our investment. And the shopping centers are really there to be able to bring IKEA to certain locations. So due to land prices and so on, the possibility of building bigger by then allowing IKEA to be in the right place next to a metro station or so, it's a huge advantage rather for the IKEA location. So we see the shopping center as an enabler to bring the IKEA to the right place. And also being connected to a shopping mall and having a large IKEA in there actually gives a huge benefit for both. So you get traffic to the mall and we get traffic from the mall into IKEA. So it's a good sweet spot actually.
Okay. How is local sourcing helping to build affordability, and tell us about the range that is specifically set out for India?
So from the beginning we had the demand, so after 3 years we had to have a local sourcing rate of 30%. So this we have reached, and that's a mix then of normal IKEA range made in India and new products made for India specifically. In general, many people are excited about to do specific products for India, but the thinking from our side is of course that the solutions we provide in our stores are tailored to Indian needs rather than we need a specific products. Because in all honesty, all over the world we do the same things. We eat, we sleep, we cook, we get dressed, we get undressed, we brush our teeth. It's happening everywhere. But it happens in different rooms and slightly different ways. So by understanding deeply the customer, we meet that customer behavior in each market in different ways. And local sourcing though will be more of IKEA range made in India, and then the odd gap filler that we need, like a typical frying pan or wok, maybe certain things like mostly in the kitchen. Then we have harder mattresses here actually than we have in the rest of the world, because people like to sleep on a bit stiffer surface. But I think more to think of how we meet the customer and then to make more of the IKEA range in India.
Okay. So I know we spoke about profitability, but let's touch upon it again. You've projected that over the next 2 years. There's growth of about 6% currently. Can you tell us what are going to be the top 2 or 3 factors that will lead to this solid profitability goal?
So we see 2 areas. One, of course, to have full focus on our existing units. How can we improve the meeting of the customer in our units, which is about staff competence, it's about the solutions we provide, it's the way we really drive traffic to the existing stores using our channels like IKEA Family, which is our own loyalty group that we actually will relaunch now in the spring, more exciting news to come. So that's one part, is to really excel in our existing units. Then it's the expansion plan. And as mentioned, we're going to speed up the expansion plan that will grow a lot of top line over the coming years. So the combination of existing units performance and expansion will give us the top line.
Okay. You manage Russia's exit during the crisis. What is making India fundamentally different, and would an exit be on the table here as well?
So Russia was a very successful IKEA country. We had 14 stores that were all connected to big shopping malls, doing really, really well. Then unfortunately the war started with Ukraine. IKEA is a very value-based company, and what was going on didn't match our values. So we exited because of a values reason rather than exiting because of a business reason. So the difference is so very large. India is in its nascence. We're just starting really. So we're having few units, a little bit of sales in a market that has massive opportunities. So for us now, it's not thinking about exiting, it's rather the opposite, is really how we're engaging with the market and expanding very fast. So I think they're radically different, luckily for us.
Okay, given that it's radically different, and of course each market is unique, China, Mexico, Brazil, India, what are the big pros of the India market and what are the biggest challenges?
If you compare that to some of the other markets you mentioned there, like the US or China, we've been there for a long time. We have large footprints, and the challenges are very different. In India, we're just again starting off. So here it's much more related to getting scale, being closer to the many people, sell more, meet more customers, exceed expectations, and by that growing our business, which in those markets other markets are more challenging because we already have a very big footprint and more you have to redo your business model maybe, but for us it's just about growing. So I think that's the way forward.
Okay. And how has your strategy evolved? Online is becoming central, B2B also is quite prominent. How do these formats matter, and is this going to be a natural evolution based on your learnings?
I think we are in a very fast changing world at the moment. So if you would 15 years ago have said that IKEA will have an online share of 30%, no one would have believed you, because we weren't even having an online sales channel, right? So we of course adapting to what's going on, but we're having the customer in focus, seeing what are their needs and how we can meet them. We have to constantly evolve, and I think right now we have become an omni-channel retailer. As a first step, being present in various channels, various store formats. As you say, B2B in India is very big. It's a lot of demands from businesses. Excellent, let's work on that. So I think we're just really being adaptable to the customer at the same time as we have our core in our range, our vision, our values of who we are, and that works very well.
And how is IKEA building the home furnishing category specifically in India? How is that doing?
So in all markets we are in, this is one of our key ambitions actually, it's to grow the home furnishing market. Because we know that the bigger the market is, the more we will sell per definition basically. And in most of the markets around the world, we're taking a leading role in creating the home furnishing market. And I think where we differ from most of the competitors is that we look at the home as solutions. We don't sell products. It's not just a number of sofas that are out there on a picture or in a showroom, but we really create room settings that are full of knowledge and understanding, both understanding of the customer and its need, but also the knowledge that IKEA has gained over so many years and so many markets. So the ideas that you can get out of a store visit at IKEA, you cannot get at another shop. And that's where I think we really build that interest, because you look at it and you, yeah, I can do my home that much better, or I can do that. And it only costs this much. So it really enables people to see their homes not only as physical space, but actually as a home where you can also bring your identity, your life challenges, and we can help you fix all these things. And
so what's the long-term game plan? You are committing to aggressive expansion. You are looking at profitability. You are looking at local sourcing. Is that going to be the game plan now for India?
You want to come working with us? Because I think you've identified it quite well.
Yeah.
No, really, there are a few things in the game plan. One is, I think we can take it, it's really to improve the customer meeting in the existing store. Super important to make sure that more and more visitors can come to the store and get that great IKEA experience, because that is something unique. And we've built it up over so many years. And we know when people come to the store, they are kind of branded IKEA afterwards, because it's such an interesting experience. Then it's the expansion. Meet more people in more places. That's very, very important. And then we have a people agenda that's quite interesting also, because we're going to recruit another 3,000 people the coming years. We're 3,000 today, and we will expand to 6,000. And of course, that's the challenge in itself. 350 new leaders will come and join us. So the whole development center approach to how we train all these people is just in construction right now, but a very, very important part of the future. And then, of course, cost control. As all businesses, you need to be smart with how you spend your money. So those three things together is the game plan, and off we go.
Off you go, indeed. Thank you so much, Patrik. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. Can't wait to go for my next visit to the IKEA store.
Thank you very much, and let me know. I will be your personal guide.
Ah, love it. Thank you. Thank you.